crypto in 2025 did not meet expectations. We were definitely expecting the top of the 4-year cycle, just given crypto's trajectory over its history. We did not get that. And heading into 2026, I think you have to have a firm game plan to be able to profit in the crypto industry. So in this video, I'm going to go over 8 bullet points that I myself am focusing on this year to ensure that we come out on top in the cryptocurrency niche this year as far as profits on chain, talking trading, airdrop farming, everything in between, how to make sure you have positive ROI in crypto in 2026. This will be a must-watch video for any crypto participant. Without further ado, let's jump into it.
And before we get started, as always, guys, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more every single week here on In the Game. We have you covered top to bottom with everything you need around the crypto markets to succeed in 2026. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors on the channel. And we'll talk a little bit more about our sponsors here in about the middle of the video. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. First of all, the market's looking a lot better to start 2026. It feels like a lot of people are done tax loss harvesting. Also, we have a lot of speculation about what Trump could do for crypto heading into 2026. The lower rates with a new Fed chair potentially. We obviously have the Maduro stuff going on. So a lot going on in the markets right now, but it is good to see some green to start the year. But I want to go over in this video. So last week, and really, if you, after this video, go check out some of the recent videos that we've dropped, because the airdrop video has a ton of value, but I also gave my 2026 crypto predictions. So I gave 10 predictions over cryptocurrency and the markets in 2026. And, you know, some of them good, some of them bad, some of them with a lot of opportunity for us to take advantage on. But in this video, I'm going to go over 8 bullet points that I myself am focusing on in 2026 to ensure that we come out in profit in 2026. So looking back at 2025, it was a treacherous market. I mean, we had new all-time highs in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Certain altcoins did very well. We had 𝗬𝗨 have a run at one point. Hyperliquid almost got to $60. We saw stuff like the Trump coin, which, you know, crushed for about 3 days over the course of the year. We saw Aster do a 10x. We had a lot of good things, you know, as far as calls and as far as some big wins, but also there were some losses. And, you know, everyone, if they don't talk about their losses, then you probably shouldn't be following them. But at the same time, you have to learn from these things, and you have to kind of lay out ground rules and bullet points that you're going to live by to avoid those mistakes in the future. So looking back at 2025, we didn't get an alt season, and it really was a hard market. And unless you were invested only in Bitcoin, Hyperliquid, maybe something like BNB or XRP at certain points of the year, but otherwise it was kind of not very friendly for altcoin holders. So heading into 2026 and really just going over my game plan, a lot of these I have adopted for a while, but a lot of them also heading into 2026 with the changing landscape in crypto. I think these are super important lessons to live by in the current phase of the market. So let's just get started with number 1. So obviously, like I said, my 10 predictions and then my 8 ways to profit kind of roll together. Number 1 is buy Bitcoin. I think that not enough people, and if we were to just look through crypto YouTube, and look, a lot of these other guys are my friends, and I do the same thing, okay? Every crypto YouTuber, for the most part, no one wants to hear about Bitcoin. People come to YouTube for alpha on altcoins, and that's just the bottom line, right? People come to try to find out how to get 100x on Fartcoin. They're not here to see how they can get a 2x in 2 years over Bitcoin, right? And then in their mind, that doesn't make as much sense, even though traditionally that's an absolute killer return. But regardless, I think that people have to start understanding that no matter if you're playing with $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, you should at least allocate some capital into Bitcoin, because I genuinely think over the course of history, Bitcoin's going to get to $250K, $500,000, maybe even the big $1 million target over the long term, 10, 15 years from now. Maybe that is realistic given the growth trajectory and the institutions buying and the BlackRock, the ETF support, everything going on with Bitcoin does point to massive price appreciation in the future. You are never priced out of Bitcoin. Even if you eventually accumulate 0.01, if you accumulate 0.05 Bitcoin, 0.1 Bitcoin, I can promise you That is the one coin that for the long term actually has the potential to change your financial trajectory. Yes, we on this channel, we caught Trump did like a 300x or whatever the case is. That was awesome. Okay. That was great. When we, but the thing is it was like midnight. So the channel didn't really catch it, but we talked about it on a video of how we caught that trade, etc. Aster did a 10x. Those are short-term window opportunities, which will be one of my next things I'm going to talk about. But Bitcoin is the one thing that I think you can rely on to hold in your portfolio, not even think about it. And in 5 to 10 years, you'll look back at yourself and say, hey, I'm so glad I took the stab even at $93,000 because now it's at $200,000, $300,000. And yeah, legitimately, it has changed a little bit of my financial standing. I think it's the one coin that can still do that over the long haul, okay? Other than short-term opportunities. Yes, a lot of people had major come-ups on meme coins and stuff like Aster, but those opportunities come and go. So if you don't have that consistent, machine, the consistent mechanism to be able to invest in the vehicle, which is Bitcoin, that's where you should be stacking a majority of your capital in crypto. And most people won't tell you that. So that's number one. Number two is my big thing going into 2026, and you've been hearing it on the channel the last 2-3 months from me, is I'm holding less and I'm preserving more for future opportunities. What I mean by this is when we look at the crypto market, look, there's in a lot of these, whenever what I'm about to say does not mean that something's not a good coin or a good project. But for me in 2026, there's no reason for me to hold something like Tron, Chainlink, Cardano, Stellar, Monero, Litecoin. I don't care about holding 50 coins anymore. And you guys know the way that altcoins have changed. In 2021, I have a list of, the YouTube calls at that time. We had coins do 50x's, 30x's, 22x's, 10x's in a week. Like things were just different at that point in time. Even in 2022, 2023, 2024, I was holding 25 coins across 5-6 different wallets because the opportunity was there. So many things would catch liquidity in the gaming or the AI space or the meme coin space, whatever the case is, that you could hold a ton of coins and get away with it because most everything would catch bids over the course of any bullish time period. If you look at any chart, 2023 December or 2024 December, things were just absolutely going crazy. And I think that time in the market's done. And only really segmented liquidity goes into certain coins because now there's thousands and thousands and thousands of memes created every single day. There's probably 1 million+ tokens in crypto, counting all the meme rug pulls and the pump fund coins that have come through the space. So you really have to be selective as to what you want to put your capital towards. So for me, that's going to be coins that are in the narrative on top of that. But number two is relevant, just socially in the know, that are actually pumping utility out, that are actually doing revenue behind the scenes. Stuff like 𝗬, as we see here. 𝗬 will probably outperform the top 50 as long as the market goes up. And as we see here, coins that are getting like ETF filings, right? 𝗬 is probably, it is one of my biggest holdings in my portfolio. By far my biggest AI holding. Hyperliquid, same thing. I plan on holding Hyperliquid for the long term because it's a revenue play. They make some of the most money in crypto and they're putting it back into the chart, which I absolutely love. And then one I'm looking into right now and I want it to cool off a little bit is Canton. This one has a lot of potential, but it is up quite a bit this month and I want to hold off and then take a little bit more of a deep look there if I'm going to add it to my long-term stack. But for me, I want to hold less tokens, hold more of those tokens in my portfolio, but at the same time, preserve stables for those aforementioned opportunities. When Zcash starts pumping, you can get in because you have stables on the side. Whenever Aster did its run, you had stables ready to deploy. When Trump went live, if you were online at that time, you had stables ready to deploy. So for me, preserving more in stables for opportunities and short-term trades, because I think right now, the way that the altcoin scene has been for the last 12 months is short-term opportunities have been beating long-term opportunities outside of stuff like Bitcoin. So I'm holding less and I am looking for short-term swings and I'm preserving stables for when that happens. Number 3 is narratives change quickly, and take profits quickly and cut losers even fast. And it's the same thing, running a business with Nexus and, being a part of Crypto Banter, just kind of seeing the way that these things flow. And when you have to hire or fire or whatever the case is, there's the term hire slow, fire fast. Like if they're not getting the job done, cut it. And it's the same thing with your crypto portfolio. If a coin starts lagging, loses its narrative, right? Let's say the easiest one to point to would be the perp dex scene. So we obviously have Hyperliquid, which is still the main character in all of perp dexes on chain. This is one that you are comfortable holding long term. And even if you bought it $40, I wouldn't be cutting this out of your portfolio. However, the derivatives of that, Bybit's one, Apex, I think is what it was. Maybe even Aster if you lose conviction in that. You have the main play, which is hype. Trickling down, there's like 5-6 different perp dex coins that try to pop up and spawn and say, hey, we're a perp dex and we do buybacks as well. But once that narrative loses steam, you need to be able to cut those losers fast. And I've had flaws with that, okay? Trust me. Whenever the gaming niche went crazy at the end of 2023, early 2024, I took good profits and I was happy with what I took off the table. But when stuff like Prime did a 10x, Playable Games did a 10x, so many coins at that time were doing 2, 3, 5, 10x's over the course of a 3-month time span. I cut a lot of profit off, but I also bag held a ton. Just, my conviction in that space and these coins was so heavy, but at the same time, you can't marry anything in your portfolio, okay? You have to be willing to take profits quickly, but even cut losers even quicker. And that will save you so much money in your portfolio. And that's something I need to get better at even. It's not something I've mastered, the emotions of cutting a loser just strictly. You're looking at an unrealized loss and you're like, it can go back up. And then a month goes by and all it's done is go 50% lower. And you're just like, well, crap, like I should have just cut it and moved it into stables or, done something else with it. Instead, here I am. Now I'm officially bag holding this coin. So definitely cut your losers quickly and make sure you take profits whenever your things rise, because a lot of people do get caught up in, oh, this coin's going to go higher. And that's just the psychology of the game. So that is a law to live by is, take profits quickly, but cut your losers even quicker. Number 4, and for me this year especially, you guys know, if you watch my channel, I am more so a holder. I am not someone other than memes last year, which was a different time period, like getting in on a meme and selling it quickly. That's different. Like trenching or buying MLG, chill guy, Trump early and then selling it. That's just a different ball game. But for me, I'm a holder. Like when I look at my portfolio, like Solana, Hype, and Tau, I'm holding those long term and I've held those for a long time. I'm a believer that if it's a good token, good project, relevant, etc., and they don't, completely ruin their credibility or reputation, for the most part, like these good projects are worth holding. But at the same time, for me, I want to dial in on short-term trading. And what I mean by that is like day trading. I think it's something that, being in crypto for so long, myself, I've been in crypto for 8 years, full-time in crypto for about 5.5 years now, which is crazy to think. But at the same time, one thing I've never really mastered, or even I delve with perps every now and then, and but for the most part, I cannot tell you firmly that I have a strategy or anything like that. So for me, one thing I want to work on, and I'll do it in public even on this channel this year, is I want to dial in a short-term trade strategy and get much better at perps when there's opportunities, looking at the charts and being able to say, hey, this is a bottom, or this is a resistance level, whatever the case is. And that's one thing I really want to get better at this year, because while altcoins didn't present a great opportunity this last year, short-term trades like longing on big rips or shorting whenever the things got really overheated, or shorting after the Trump dip or the Trump coin drop, a lot of those opportunities outlasted even if we did have an alt season. Those people made more money than anyone if you were actually able to see these patterns in the market. So for me, that's one thing I want to get way better at this year, is simply just finding a perp strategy. no matter what it is. And, it's a good time to shout out a couple credible places to trade perps. If you guys are looking to trade this year as well, we have an amazing sign up bonus with Blowfin, about $10,000 in USDT rewards. If you sign up with Blowfin down below, this is a centralized exchange, no KYC. So if you're in the US and you like centralized exchanges, you can actually sign up here and trade in the US with no information needed on your behalf. So check out Blowfin down below. And if you want to use a perp dex, you can use Gravity as well. Gravity is going to have an upcoming airdrop. It's the official perps dex of 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗘. And on top of that, they have raised $30 million. I think that this airdrop is going to be very, very substantial. So you can check out both Blowfin and Gravity if you want credible places to trade in 2026 down below in the description. But yeah, for me, I really just want to find a strategy on trading that, in a slow week in the market, when coins are doing nothing and your portfolio is just kind of going stagnant, maybe allocating 5% of my stack into a trading account and saying, hey, trial by fire, I have to get better at this. I want to find a strategy and be able to, day trade here and there and make money in the market, even when it's slow, because slow times really are, that's it. Like, when the market's not doing too much in either direction, to me, the lack of clarity, and whenever, especially for a long-term holder, when the market's not going up, it's kind of just stagnant. So that's definitely something I want to get better at in 2026. And, this is kind of a mix, like how to make money in crypto in 2026. I think these are the skills that I need to craft and also kind of sharpen my blade in these certain areas, like cutting losers quicker, holding less tokens. And that's to me priority number one. Buy Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin from today to year end is going to be higher. That's just genuinely my prediction. So you want to make money in crypto, buying Bitcoin is probably a great proposition. And then for me also, being able to day trade and profit on short-term swings in the market. Number 5 is shorting VC junk tokens. Okay, this has been probably the biggest moneymaker this year. And if we look, I loved this article here from 𝗪𝗪𝗧 on Twitter. As we can see here, 84.7% of tokens launched in 2025, so 8.5 out of 10 tokens in 2025 are below TGE price. The average drawdown is 71% from launch. And only 15% of tokens were ever in the green. Every single above 1 billion FDV launch failed. And if you bought most of these TGEs in 2025, you were exit liquidity. So why buy into all this crap? Monad, Barachain, all these BS tokens that come out with a new blockchain that people say is going to be the next flashy thing. Well, look, we called out immediately to go in and short something like a Monad, because who's going to be using Monad in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? And if we look at the yearly chart here, it was at 5 cents. Now it's at 2.9 cents. That's a nice leverage trade for anyone who was able to take that short. If we take a look at something even uglier like Barachain, let's just see here on this chart. I think this is something you have to do almost blindly going into 2026, is when a hype FDV VC project comes out, you have to just pull the trigger and short that thing almost immediately. I don't know why the chart's not loading there. We'll just pull up CoinMarketCap and get that data here. Man, from $11 to 64 cents. Like, these shorts are generational opportunities by simply just betting. And when you look at the numbers, you have an 85% chance of profiting when you short a new project. That's a pretty good odds if you don't over leverage yourself. So for me in 2026, I'm going to be absolutely shorting like crazy on the big hyped launches with tons of VC unlocks and dilution. That era of crypto is cooked, and I'm totally looking to profit on that in 2026. The VCs will be our exit liquidity because we're going to short these projects so hard. That is absolutely what I will be doing in 2026. Number 6 is simply staying diligent and making sure that you're using new protocols and airdrop farming. Look, a lot of people freaking think that you have to, and I see it in the YouTube comments too. They're like, oh, Hustle, you only make money on airdrops because of affiliates. The affiliate side of airdrop farming is nothing. They want people using it. I think the perception of that is completely off. And look, there are affiliate programs in crypto that are good, and there are affiliate programs that really aren't that rewarding. And I can tell you, airdrop farming affiliate programs are not lucrative. Okay, I've never had an affiliate farm on an airdrop that's been the reason that I get a huge airdrop. Meteora, I did 7 figures in volume on Meteora, and I got a substantial airdrop. Okay, I've done perps volume across multiple platforms. I got great airdrops on those. So usage and volume is rewarded so much heavier, and you really don't have to play with a lot of money. You can deposit a couple $100s into a few different protocols. If you play your cards right, you're going to rack up a good amount of volume, and then you will get rewarded. And I think that that's just the freest money you can have in crypto is airdrops. So whether you're scared that you're going to put in time to a protocol and they're only going to give you $100, $500, $50, those are wins, and they stack up. And if you get 20 airdrops over the year, varying between $500 and $200, all of a sudden you just made an extra $5,000 to $10,000 potentially just by playing around with some early stage crypto protocols. So 2026, I did drop this guide here. I think I dropped 14 projects here. It says the best 10 crypto airdrops for 2026. I talked about my strategy in each of them, how I'm maximizing volume, and how I'm planning on getting a massive airdrop on these different protocols. So check this video out if you are interested in that, but don't overlook airdrops. I think the dumbest logic that any user can have is, I'm not going to get a lot of money out of this, so like, is it worth it? Free money. What investor? So, and also just think of it this way. Professional sports gamblers, professional investors, I know influencers that do this. I know funds that do this. Let's just take, for example, the bonuses that we offer on Blowfin. I know people who create accounts, run up these bonuses, and get those. It's like it's free money if you are willing to do the work, if you're willing to go in for the volume, right? If it's something you're going to do anyway. Free money is free money, okay? People do these all the time. They run up the affiliate rewards on these. They like the $10,000 for a new sign up. They'll sign up, they'll complete the criteria, and you literally get $9,000 for free for just completing the criteria, right? So nobody is above free money. And I think some of the dumbest logic on chain is airdrops aren't worth it in 2026 because it's not a lot of money anymore. A free win's a free win, and you can put that money wherever you'd like at that point in time. So don't overlook airdrops, and I think it's definitely something that in 2026, I think there's a lot of good opportunities for airdrops as well. Number 7, and we are almost done. Like I said, this is kind of a blend of like crypto lessons and things I'm putting into action and things I want to get better at in 2026. And I think these videos are going to be so much fun to look back at a year from now and say like, okay, we accomplished this, this worked, this didn't, what do we adjust going into 2027, right? So if you're getting value out of this and kind of a psychological, it's really just like a deep dive into crypto psychology, like the video down below and subscribe. But number 7 is use your stock portfolio to your advantage. One thing, I haven't always been a huge stock investor. Whenever I had a 9-to-5 job about 5.5, 6 years ago, I had a 401k, and I was very active as to what I was buying. And whenever I quit that job, I also was playing a lot of Call of Duty on a gaming PC. You guys know I love crypto gaming. My gaming PCs both down here have NVIDIA graphics drivers. So I got really lucky, and I invested in NVIDIA just because the NVIDIA graphics cards were skyrocketing in price. And that really got me interested in the broader stock market. And ever since then, when crypto's not doing well, for the most part, the stock portfolio is kind of helping me out a lot. And you can, as a crypto participant, use it as a hedge to your crypto portfolio, but also you can use it as kind of a booster. You can invest in stuff like Coinbase, Robinhood, Kraken's coming out with their stock. But on top of that, MicroStrategy has been announcing a lot of these different yield-bearing assets. STRC, for example, stretch your income is basically what the narrative is here. The 1-year return on this is 16%, which is absolutely crazy. And that's like a dividend ratio. So pretty crazy opportunities here for a Bitcoin stock. Like MicroStrategy's Stretch is what this is. This is something I'm going to be adding to my portfolio, for example, but I've had the Yield Max MicroStrategy. I have MicroStrategy. I'm going to add this. I have Robinhood, Tesla, Coinbase, all these different stocks. And it is a great hedge, okay? Especially if your portfolio is heavily weighted into good projects in crypto. Your stock portfolio can a lot of the times even pick up the slack and keep you in profit. So don't fade the stock market. Don't think because you're a crypto guy, you're too good to invest in stocks. TradFi, not for me. That's not the mantra, okay? Nobody's above either industry, and make sure that you prioritize your stock portfolio just as much as your crypto, because a lot of these do have to do with crypto. Stuff like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Robinhood, etc. And then last but certainly not least is on-chain prediction markets. This is one I think in 2026, I want to show every month my calendar. So as you can see here, some of the best traders on Polymarket. This guy here is crushing it. He made $78,000 last month on 𝗘𝗃, which is just absolutely mental to think about. But this is another opportunity to sharpen your sword, figure out a niche that you're good at: sports, entertainment, culture, music, film. There's endless possibilities on what to trade on 𝗘𝗃, Polymarket, etc. And it can genuinely boost your portfolio. It's on-chain native. You can cash out, cash in crypto. 𝗘𝗃's partnered up now. You can trade 𝗘𝗃 on Phantom Wallet. I mean, the amount that prediction markets are embedding themselves in Web3 and in crypto, it's not going to go away. And it's another one of those industries that when crypto's slow, having some skills on these markets to be able to jump in and trade mention markets or whatever the case is and come out on top. This is a skill in itself that I think in 2026 can also keep you profitable. When crypto's slow, prediction markets have really been there for me at this point in time, right? As someone, I want to develop better leverage trading skills and stuff like that in 2026, as we've talked about. But I think, developing skills in prediction markets is just as valuable, because I think this industry is growing probably the second quickest in the entire world behind AI. And I think it's something you shouldn't fade. And we do have an offer down below with 𝗘𝗃. If you deposit and trade $10, you get $10 for free. So you can give this a shot for $10. They'll give you a free $10 and you can just play around with it, get your feet wet. And like I said, I will be live streaming multiple times every single week about prediction markets. I think the next one will either be Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. But on top of that, I will be showing you every month my calendar. If we come out on top, my goal is to be extremely profitable this year, obviously, in prediction markets. And I want to sharpen my sword in a lot of these areas. Cut losers quicker, short these VC tokens, as we've talked about a few times with Monad, which turned out very well. But I think we have to do that on a broader scale. Buy more Bitcoin, hold less tokens, preserve more stable coins, take profits quickly and cut losers even quicker. I want to dial in my perps trading. I want to make sure I'm diligent on maintaining airdrop farming, because I think this year will be good for airdrops, especially if the market does continue to climb. Probably a good amount of TGEs coming in Q1 if that's the case. Use your stock portfolio to your advantage in tandem with your crypto portfolio. And last but not least, find your edge in prediction markets. I think if you master all 8 of these, or even if you master 2, 3, 4 of these, you'll come out in crypto on top in 2026. I would not be spending time buying $5,000 market cap coins. I wouldn't be copy trading 𝗬𝗏's wallet in 2026, okay? That's just not what I'd be doing. I would just stick to some fundamental principles, develop skills, okay? This is the time in the market where it's getting harder. I mean, 2025 was legendary mode on Halo. Like, it was really hard. Okay. And I think 2026, only the most skilled participants will obviously make the most money. And it's not just going to be from holding coins. I think that era of crypto, of just hold a lot of things and you'll make money, it'll come here and there. And maybe we're in a stage right now, maybe Q1 is going to be very bullish and people make a lot of money. But I think long term, having those skills of trading and just being able to short term trade and dive into other things like stocks or dive into the prediction market side, that's going to be so good for your arsenal to make money in crypto in 2026. So guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel for more. I hope this was a good brain dump, psychological kind of overview of how I'm looking at 2026. Nobody's a perfect trader. Nobody has everything down to a T. Nobody knows where the market's going today, tomorrow, next month, etc. But at the same time, what we can do is try to just sharpen the blade in every aspect and make sure that you, me, everyone watching this channel is going to come out on top in 2026. So I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, stay bullish, and trade responsibly, my friends.